This episode is outfitted by Pendulum Threads, built for the hybrid athlete. Whether you're in the gym, on the trail, or chasing your next challenge, their gear moves with you. Head to pendulumthreads.com and use code COUNTDOWN2 for 15% off your order. Pendulum Threads. Perfect comfort, perfect performance.
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh man, I'm so sorry, guys.
Hey, it's all good. Thanks for making it work.
Alright.
Regardless.
Yeah,
It's
of
like
course.
you have life. You live in this world.
Dude, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like it's when stuff's just too busy.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at. It's like I'm not doing anything good, but I'm doing a lot of half-baked work. How's the podcast going for you guys?
It's been going good.
I mean, we enjoy it, so that's
Yeah.
it's got to be something cool.
Yeah, the biggest thing
Yeah,
is
totally.
it's been fun, and we get to hang out and talk about what we're going through, and we are encouraging others, which is the main point of this whole thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Hope so.
That's awesome. Good for you guys.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think it was maybe like a couple months ago we became in contact, and then I just remember some of the stuff you shared. I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Way cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So welcome to Countdown 2 Podcast. I'm your co-host Drew,
And I'm Leighton.
and we're brothers.
And today we have professional mountain biker Braydon Bringhurst on. Braydon is a pro rider for Canyon Bikes and Smith Optics and a bunch of other great brands. He is also a husband, a father of 3 girls, and along with his wife, he's the co-creator of 8,600 Feet film, which in Moab, Utah, there is a trail called the whole Enchilada, and it's one of the gnarliest downhill trails in the world, and Braydon decided he wanted to climb up it. So he climbed 8,600 feet over some of the gnarliest tech, rock, and impossible features. And in October of 2022, he accomplished that goal. He did it on my 30th birthday. I watched it when it came out. I was living a very sad life of giving up, full of fear and full of alcohol. And right after watching it, I called my brother and I was like, dude, we need to make a change. Let's work through it until we make it happen. And so along with that film, there is some principles in there. There's a book called The Fearless Mind by Dr. Craig Manning. And it is just about living fearlessly. And so we wanted to have Braydon on to be able to talk to him about how not only, physically mastering going up the whole enchilada, but the mental strength behind it. And so, Braydon, welcome. It's an honor to have you, man. So,
I'm honored to be here, and it's cool. It's really cool to hear that. The films had such a good influence out there in people's lives, because that was really the whole goal with it. Was I didn't really care about showing people I could ride my bike crazy,
right.
I really just wanted to show the mind stuff, and having Dr. Manning as a friend, as a mentor, as my mental coach for years. I just wanted to share that with the world, because it was a rough time, I think, in the world, especially coming after the COVID time, and
Right.
and we sadly had some people in this community I live in take their lives. And some were young, some had a couple kids, and I was like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
Like, I've got to do something. I've got to at least try to put something good out into the world, because it seemed like it was just a really heavy time, and it's still a heavy time for a lot of people right now.
Sure.
Yeah, I love what you guys are doing. I think hearing this mental, fortitude, this mental strength, these skills, in your own way through your own experiences is so powerful. And it's like if we all can kind of work together in that, I think it's just going to be so impactful. And yeah, I'm a big believer and fan of it, so I'm honored to be
Yeah.
here.
No, and absolutely. I mean, and like Leighton said, it was one of those things that really kind of helped drive the Countdown 2 podcast for us because we come from a place of not mastering something. And,
Yeah.
even though it's kind of focused on working out and such, it's also
Yeah,
the power of the mind and how it
totally.
works for you or against you. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, no, that's it. We'll dive into all of this because it's such
Cool.
very important stuff for sure. So,
Yeah.
um, so as I said, our first countdown was riding Moab because like Leighton said, "Hey, we need to change our life." I don't know why he said we. I didn't need to change my life. You need to change your life. No, there was definitely. I mean, I let fear and things get in my head all the time. So it was definitely both of us together. And from this, he showed me your video, and it was just like that's crazy. And we had always wanted to ride Moab, so it's like, hey, why don't we set a goal of going to Moab and ride it down the correct way?
That's
Um,
awesome.
and so we did. We did that spring. We're like, hey, let's go to Moab now. And so I rode the whole enchilada. You rode Braden. You rode up the whole enchilada, and Leighton got rode by the whole enchilada.
Oh,
i-
I
In
feel
particular.
so bad. What a sad deal. Did you break your collarbone, Leighton?
Yeah, I snapped it in half going down the snotch, and
Oh,
but
that sucks.
I just
Yeah.
like
So he.
go ahead, Drew.
Oh, I was gonna say he shuttled up, or we shuttled up, and then he got a shuttle back down, and then I finished out the.
Oh,
I finished out the trail. I was solo.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, but yeah,
so
just starting to go down the snotch, and then I don't know what happened, but my front wheel got hung up, and
I know
bars
what
went
happened.
sideways, and I just went OTB and landed here and here, and
oh,
ended up breaking my Smith helmet, but it saved me. My head was totally fine, but I just snapped
wow.
this, and I
Well,
I got up and mentally, but anyway, I got up and I was like, oh, I might be okay. Then the adrenaline went away, and I was like, oh boy, I feel stuff, and it didn't puncture or anything, but I'm like
Yeah.
this, and
Jeez.
yeah,
So did you have to get it surgically fixed, or did it?
yeah, I got surgery. I got like 2 plates
Wow.
in there, and
Wow.
and
Well,
here.
are you all healed now and good?
I have September. I can start riding. I've been riding
Cool.
Yeah.
like local trails stuff I
Start.
know, and like
Yeah.
not going all out. But I'm
Whatever.
all
You rode Downeyville.
well. I know Downeyville. Like it's fine.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
I didn't
That's a big
fly
trail.
Downeyville, and but
Yeah.
so I've been taking care of it, and lifting on this side
Wow.
and stuff, exercising. But
Nice.
I learned a lot from it. It was I'm kind of glad it
Dude,
happened, but uh, in a way.
that's so
But
crazy though. I feel like it's weird how sometimes you'll go through crap and you'll look back and you're like, I'm actually really grateful I went through that.
yeah, exactly. Oh,
I mean,
I
I look back
Crazy.
and grateful I didn't do it. So.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, right after watching your film, like my whole life kind of, even though I made a decision to change, and then my whole life kind of crumbled. And my sister jokes, and she's like, "Dude, one day you're gonna be glad this happened." And I was like, "Okay." And then 2 years later, or 3 years later, I'm like, "Yes, I am glad it happened because it would not have
Wow.
led me to where I am now." So, but
That is pretty amazing.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
let's dive into
yes.
the film.
Yeah, diving into the film real quick. So when you
Sure.
dropped the film, your film, 8,600 feet,
Yeah.
what did you hope people would walk away with?
So when I was a kid, I really struggled with especially a belief in myself that I could do academics or I could do other components of life. I always felt, just because I was so supported as a kid, I always felt like I could do sports, like skiing, biking, track and field. Like I always was going to those spaces because that's where I felt competent and good. But deep inside, I really doubted myself with like academics or professionally. And, and, you know, things happened and I ended up doing, my undergraduate in filmmaking and getting a degree that I absolutely love. And then getting a master's degree in business.
Mm.
And then kind of just feeling this sense of like, I kind of figured out how to tackle and organize the mind. And a huge part of that was working with Dr. Manning. Like, you know, before I met him, I kind of just worked really, really hard and just like closed my eyes and just did everything I could and hopefully things worked out. But since working with Dr. Manning, I really learned how to organize the mind and how to structure certain thought patterns and certain goals and build this consistent like work this consistent framework that I could go to every day, and I just started seeing it benefit my life like really, really positively. And so when the time came when I was like, man, I'm not a school teacher, I'm not a first responder, I'm not in the medical field, what can I do to make an impact in the world? I was like, maybe I can ride my bike or do some challenge that I could show the process of overcoming and challenge, but then really intertwine the mental performance component to it. And so,
Yeah.
you know, I really just wanted to help people kind of draw parallels to their own lives and be able to be like, all right, you know, I need to develop a can-do mindset. I need to develop positive and um, actionable like items to like get my goals, not um, be influenced by just negativity or stuff that will pull you away from your goals. And then, yeah, the bike riding was just kind of was like the visual of doing it when the real hope and goal of the whole team was to get that message across that anybody can take these like fundamental skills and conquer their own mountains, you know? And it was crazy because within like the first week, I was getting like emails, I was getting direct messages from people like going into open heart surgeries and um, spine injuries and challenges with other family members, maybe that were suicidal. And like I was getting all of these messages that were the most unbelievable messages I could have ever dreamt of. And I was just like, wow, like it's doing it. Like the film's doing it. It's really having an impact. And that was like that was my main goal. I just didn't care to make it about me and about me climbing this mountain. It's like we kind of had to do that to like make it as meaningful as it could have
Sure.
been.
Sure.
But yeah, so hearing your stories is just like, man, it's pretty special.
Yeah, well, and there's a moment in the film where you say it's not about conquering the trail, it's about conquering myself. It sounds like that's
Yeah.
what you're speaking to is learning how to in every situation or whatnot. Can you expand on that or
Yeah,
what you were meaning at the time or
yeah, for sure. I mean, I I've constantly turned to my bike as a way to like develop self-belief,
Mm,
and I use this opportunity to like, okay, I'm gonna really apply the fearless mind, and I'm gonna really try and come away with this that I can I can go after things that absolutely terrify me, but if I go into it with these certain components that if it's right, it will work out. And
yeah.
so like the biggest, you know, challenges, or not challenges, but biggest mountains ahead of me is just being a good husband and being a good father. I got these 3 girls, and like it's the biggest, you know, the biggest responsibility I've ever had, and I don't want to take it lightly. And
Mhm.
and thankfully I have bike riding to just continually teach me lessons about, self-belief and getting back up and continuing to
Right.
ride. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I was saying when I said that.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. And correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you have your third didn't your wife have your third like a couple days before you did the the climb? Like
Yeah, like 4 days before. It was crazy.
wild, wild. Well, congrats.
Because
But
well, thanks. I was originally supposed to, well, we were originally gonna have Nicole film this project,
mm-hmm.
Okay.
and then we ended up getting our little girl Hallie on the way, and we were like, okay, well, let's find another filmer because this baby's going to be coming about the time of the climb.
Mhm.
And then we started getting closer, and the date was originally supposed to be October like 17th. That was like the date um, that I was going to do the climb. Like that's what I had been training for. And then my friend Kyle Mears, who lives in Moab, was like, dude, I don't think you're gonna want to do the 17th. Usually that's it's had a snowstorm and it's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
shut off. I'm like, well, when do you think I need to do it? And it was the 10th, or it was like the 12th or something. Maybe it was I think it was the 10th or something that was Rampage. And
Mm.
Oh, right.
the guy that I had filming this was filming at Rampage, so he had to be at Rampage.
Mhm.
So I was like, well, what about the week before? So we had to go 2 weeks earlier than the original date. And then Nicole, my wife, the baby was coming. And I was just like, okay, well, if we just need to push this off for the year, I can do it next year. This is just too much. And she was
Mhm.
like, no, just
She's like, I've put so much time and effort into this.
just
Get out of here.
go, get it over with. And I was like, all right, well, let's do it then.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it worked out perfect because that night you saw in the end of the film, I mean, it snowed like a foot
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
half. It was
I was like,
I was
oh
like,
dang. And
yeah,
was
crazy.
there something, during the climb, was there something that you learned about yourself that you weren't quite expecting? That maybe something was harboring that you're hiding, that came out during that climb?
That's a great question. And I think for me, it was really amazing to, from the start of this climb, from all of the practice and all the training sessions, I just committed to myself, even if I didn't personally, like deep inside, believe it, to just say vocally, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was, we learn about the subconscious and the conscious, and it's really important to control the conscious mind. Really important. And one of those phrases that I was committing to filling my conscious mind was the phrase, I can do this. And so I just consistently, if you see the film, you'll see me repeating it like, I got this, like,
Yeah.
I can do it. Even when Nicole at the Snotch was like, well, can you make this thing? And I'm like, yes.
Yes.
because like inside, like my internal was being like, you're absolutely not going to make this thing.
Hmm.
Like this is
Hmm.
too hard. This is at 4,000 feet into the climb. You've got to hit your most insane power numbers. You got to hit all these technical moves. Of course you can't do this. That's what my internal is telling me,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like I really did everything I could to control the conscious mind, and that saying in and of itself, I can do this, was so powerful because on the day I did the climb, at the very top, when the sun had dropped, it was raining, it was slippery. I was in so much pain. Like I was so uncomfortable. If you watch the end of the film, I just continually am believing and telling myself, I can do this. I can do this. Braydon, you got this, dude. Like you can do it. And it was like, it was habit at that point. So it was really interesting to me that in the beginning, it wasn't necessarily habit, and it wasn't like the easiest to like tell myself, I can do it. You got this. But in the heat of that day and at the very end when it was so difficult, because I trained that into my mindset, that is like one of the things that carried me to the top, which was just really cool.
Yeah, and well, we were curious. I mean, if this wasn't a film, if you weren't filming at the time,
Yeah.
well, let me paint a picture. Like, so
Yeah.
one of the hardest things you climbed up, like you were saying, was a snotch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for context sake, for our listeners, if first you should watch the video. It's all online. Um, B, so Leighton and I were headed down instead of going up like you. I chose to walk it. That's
Mm-hmm.
difficult to walk. Like, I mean, like I more slid than I walked going down.
Yeah, for sure.
More context, this is where Leighton went down and he broke his collarbone. And so you climbed up that,
Yeah.
and just using that for context sake, do you feel like if the cameras weren't rolling, do you think you would have thought about throwing in the towel? Just be like,
Yeah, great
or
question.
were you just that committed to this?
I was committed to showing people that they can do hard things.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like the drive behind me making this climb was way bigger than myself. If it was
Yeah.
me doing that climb for me, no, I wouldn't have done it. Nope.
Cool.
Sure.
But because the drive was to like help people and show that like if you believe and work hard enough, you can get through whatever it is. And just because I wanted to keep the focus on the mind and and in that direction, I didn't want to go too in the technicality of the snotch. But just for your understanding, the snotch took between 700 and 800 attempts.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, and every single attempt I was taking notes, I was processing, okay, what do I need to do? Do I need to go back home and train to get stronger? Do I need to adjust my power? Do I need to watch my pedal placement? How am I going to piece this all together? And that was like it was like 6-ish trips to the snotch with multiple 4-hour sessions of just piecing this thing together and then visualizing and
Mm,
but yeah, like it was that much work. I mean, there was a
man.
moment when I was getting kind of anxious, like weeks before, when I kept going down there to figure it out. And I was with my buddy Greg, and I got up on like the second flat area.
Mhm.
It was like the final push
Yeah.
on the hardest part of the snotch, and the cameras were dead. And it was just me and him out there just like sweating like crazy in August.
Oh.
And as soon as I got onto that rock and I was in the position that I needed to be, it was a sketchy dismount because you got to like come off of that thing backwards. But as soon as I got up on that second ledge and I was in the position to crank, I just stopped, got off the bike, and I just started like bawling on the rock.
Oh.
Like, because I was like, I know I can do this now. It went from
Okay.
I can do this, I believe I can do this, to like I can actually,
I love
and
that.
that was like 2 weeks before the climb.
Jeez.
Wow.
Because then I went back down and I threw my drone up and then the battery died and I had to edit it to kind of show like, oh, the battery was dying. But that's when I actually got it multiple times and kind of locked it in like, okay, here's the exact moves. Talked through my camera. Okay, this is where you're going to, get your pedal placement. This is where you're going to put all your power. This is where you're going to this. And then when the day came for the climb to happen, it was just a matter of piecing everything together. Like my diet and my technical like riding component, the filming, because I was directing this whole film too while I was
Right.
and yeah, it was just execution time. So like when that day came, man, I was literally like, all right, the only reason I'm not going to make this is if something that I can't control happens. Everything else, I've put in the time. There's no reason I can't do this. Let's go do it. So it was a crazy cool experience for sure.
Yeah, that's
Right.
that's wild. After finishing the climb and after the film dropped,
Yeah.
how did it change your view of what you were capable of? Because like you know what you could do beforehand, and then I mean this after actually the day, like did your mind just completely expand on all the possibilities?
Yeah, not really with like bike riding.
Mm-hmm.
Bike riding is like it, like I said, it has been something that I've constantly turned to develop self-belief. And it was great to go through that process for my bike riding. But more than anything, it just helped me believe that like because we had to put this whole film together, like I
Right.
finished it in October. We got the footage and then we had to make a movie. And
Right.
The next
that
part.
was insane. Like that was so hard. It went from originally being like 2 15-minute vlogs to an hour and a half feature film,
Mm-hmm.
which it felt like the goal just kept stretching. And it was like really hard for me and Nicole to like, because we never had made a movie. And thankfully I had great friends that reached out and like mentored me and like helped me. But it was a space that I was really being pushed in.
Hmm.
And so yeah, I guess after the movie came out, it was like everybody's kind of like, wow, like that's such an amazing physical feat. But I was like, I'm just amazed that we got the movie done.
Right.
So yeah, so just I guess just like yeah, I feel like a sense of furthered self-belief that if I don't understand something, I can figure out how, or I can talk to the right friends and try and piece it together.
Yeah, well, because it's easy to say, yeah, I'll do this climb, theoretically, and then yeah, we'll put this movie together, and then actually going through it at the end, you're like, oh my gosh, we did it, did both of it,
Yeah.
and it was a lot harder than than you probably thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, totally. But like I said, like your messages and these other people's messages, I'm just like, it's 100% worth it.
Yeah, good man. I
With
love to hear
every
that.
bit.
So,
Drew, go ahead.
so on that note, curious, would you ever do it again? And now that I hear the story a little bit more, it's like I'm going to change that to a two-parter. Would you ever do ride up Moab backward or the whole enchilada backwards again? And then two, it's kind of separate. Would you ever make another movie? It doesn't
Um,
have to be on that.
honestly, I have been kind of thinking about like doing, because if I don't have to make a movie and I don't have to do something I've never done before, I can save a lot of energy. So I do want to, because I know all the like all the cheat codes. I know everything. I know the training plan. I know all the
Mm-hmm.
climb information. Like I actually do. I want to go climb up it and come down it now, like in one ride.
Oh,
And
oh,
I think I can do it.
Wow.
I really do. And right now I've got like some projects going on that I couldn't set the time aside to do that, but here in the next couple of years, yeah, I want to set a goal to go up and down it and hit
Wow.
every move up and then rip it down and make it a big epic ride and just kind of celebrate that that experience once again.
Yeah.
Well, if you need a couple cheer boys in the background, cheering you on, we'll sign up.
We'll go back
Thank
down.
you.
We'll go back down with you. You can do that
Yeah.
part. We'll wait for you.
Okay,
Get
I'll
you
meet
some
you up
food.
Yeah.
there. That's that's awesome.
Oh
Yeah, no, so
man.
I think that's in my future. And then as far as the movie goes, I really want to continue to make media that
Mhm.
helps people out. And one of the projects I'm involved right now is called the Hard MTB League.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this new competition format. It's this all mountain. It's really difficult. And pretty much our web series is going to be all dedicated to athletes working, overcoming, developing, and the message for the audience or the spectators or the viewers or whatever is going to be right along the same vein as the whole enchilada stuff. So
Wow.
I'm really excited about this, this big pursuit that I'm going on right now, because I know that just me, uh, by intertwining this message of just overcoming, working hard, filling the mind with positive, like having a plan, I know that if we can intertwine that message with a bunch of different athletes, with a bunch of different audiences, that the impact can just be so much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And, we could imagine that, we have one of our development riders that's, an 18-year-old girl, and we're talking, and she's developing and overcoming and conquering and winning. Like, imagine the influence that's going to have for, a bunch of girls that
Sure.
see something that they're like, wow, I want to take whatever she did and try and use it in my own life. So that's kind of
Right.
the media. So
Well,
I
and
think,
I mean, this speaks to, like, for our listeners' sake, facing dark times. My question would be, what does mental toughness actually look like when your brain is lying to you? And it sounds like you're trying to address that in these series.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just like, it's a really tough time, and there's not enough therapists out there. And honestly, we don't all need therapists, we just
Mhm.
need good influences and good knowledge. And this is it's really just going to crack down on the fundamentals of mental performance, like controlling the controllable, filling your conscious mind with constructive, actionable, forward moving cues. um like these really fundamental things that people can come away with and be like, wow, okay, I know that this is where I need to focus and this is what I need to do. Um, because yeah, like I said, I don't think everybody needs necessarily a therapist or something. I think just having knowledge and knowing how to kind of manage our thoughts is just, it's never been, I don't think it's ever been needed more.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a crazy time right now. Like there's so much just tough stuff going on right now.
Yeah. Well, and that part of that too, with us starting this podcast was, there's so many voices out there of pros or David Goggin, like high level people of like, this is what you got to do. And it's like, okay, how about Drew and I? We're
You
just
can't
regular.
relate to that.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
relate to that. We're just regular guys that love riding bikes, and we wanted to change our lives, and somehow it made riding better as well. But
Yeah.
uh, yeah, so I love the stories of the people rather than the higher influence. It's more relatable, and yeah,
Cool.
definitely needed. So.
Yeah.
Um,
Heck,
so with putting the fearless mind in action,
yeah.
focusing on mindset, identity, fear, emotional discipline. What's your process for turning fear into focus in the moment, like, and not just on the bike, but in life?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's really easy to be fearful, like, because fear fear lives in the future. You know, like
Mhm.
fear, the reason you feel fear is because the what ifs of the
Yeah.
future. The reason you feel guilt is because you're thinking back in the past. And so the secret is to be present, but how do you be present? Like we hear that all the time. Be present, be present. Well, what the hell does that mean, right? So like the the what you do to be present is you figure out ways to be focused in on whatever it is you're doing. You know, like if you're like imagine when you're on your bike, when you're on that trail and you're picking your line choice through that trail, are you anywhere else but there? Nah, not usually. And that's why
Shouldn't
I
be.
love, yeah, you shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be.
That's why I love biking because it's such a natural activity that just brings you to the present, and like you've got to be so focused and it just brings you right then and there. And so doing that in other components of your life, it's like, how do you do it? And what I'm continually working on is like, okay, being present means being where you're at and doing exactly what you need to be doing to be the best you can be right then. Because at the end of the day, like right now, this is where we're at, right? Like this is what we're doing right now. And this is where the energy should be at. If you're, on your phone or you're trying to email or you're whatever, like you're not going to be there. And it's way easier said than done. I mean, I yesterday locked my keys in my car. I lost my wallet.
Yeah.
I'm like going too fast. I have too much going on. So I'm working on just being more present, and it's a learning process because you have to be able to like cut stuff off that just isn't important to you, and that's why like I make time for this right here because my life is freaking nuts, probably just like yours. But like this to me is some of the most important conversations and stuff that I do. And so like yeah, there's just like this constant pull to be pulled to the future and be fearful, and this constant tug to be pulled into the past on stuff you didn't do or didn't accomplish. But really it's like finding ways to be present, do what you need to do is like is a huge component to being fearless and having that fearless mind.
Yeah.
And when you like, for me, a big part of it is on page 31. There's a journaling aspect to the fearless mind. I love that because you set your objective and then you have your 3 actionable cues that you're going to do for that goal, and you keep that conscious mind continually focused on those 3 things. And that really helps you be focused for that the time that you're setting aside to reach that goal or whatever it is you're doing. Just for a quick example, um I have my 3 daughters, and like it's really easy to be at home, be super, because me and my wife work from home, and it's great, but sometimes it feels like we're not paying attention to the kids because we're like working.
Right.
And so there is a certain level of that just happens, like that we have to work. But one of the things that I've done is like at night, I'll have like an hour and a half, and I'll be like, all right, I'm going to give this hour and a half focused time with my kids. And so my objective will be with my kids or be the best dad that I can be. And my 3 cues is, the first one is like, ask your kids questions. Cue number 2 is get on the floor and play with them. Cue number 3 is look them in the eyes. And like all 3 of those cues help me to be as present as possible while I'm there in that hour and a half. And I come away from that feeling so much better about parenting. I come away
Right.
with it so much more connected to my kids. And then, I'm motivated to do it again and spend quality time again with them. And that's just like the, parent-child component of my life. But, you have biking, you have work, you have all these things in that framework of having your objective, having your 3 focus points, is a really big component to being present, at least for me.
Sure. No, that makes sense.
Love that.
It sounds like it's in par with the way you've said, the way we speak to ourselves shapes our identity. How do you catch negative thought or negative self-talk, before it grows? And with changing your life, changing your ways, or like Leighton and I are doing, it's good to have that forward focus, but there's so often our old self trying to hijack that or creep into that comfort,
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. And it's a process, like you're gonna have bad days and you just gotta be like, all right, well, today just kind of sucks, but I'm gonna I'm gonna get back and I'm gonna get back into the mindset. I'm gonna start again. I think one of the biggest things is just learning that it's okay to fail and not be perfect. It's like, yeah, you're setting on this new path of like, okay, I'm gonna be, more determined to be this or that, but giving yourself grace that you're going to slip and you're going to have issues and you're going to, maybe have really bad issues, but you're committing to this process of healthy habits, training the neurons in your brain to fire the right way. I mean, if you only understood, if all of us only understood how detrimental negative thoughts are, we would run from those like the plague.
Right,
Like
right.
they are so bad. And we all have our own individual negative thoughts, but then if you have friends and family and others that are pushing negativity too, it becomes to a point where you just don't feel like you can like survive,
Sure.
And so having your influence positive is important, and that's never going to be perfect. But in your own mind, if you can commit, because you have the subconscious mind, which is the way that your neurons fire through your brain. And as those neurons go, they just get deeper and deeper and deeper. Think of it like a creek. That creek eventually becomes deeper and deeper and deeper in the earth, right? And for that creek to deviate and go another way, after that water's been going through there for years, it's almost impossible.
Right.
But with the mind, if you control the conscious mind and you start putting in those positive self-talks, you put reminders on your phones, you get a tattoo on your hand, you put it on your mirror, you just surround yourself with that very positive self-talk in the conscious mind, you will retrain those neurons and you will retrain the way that your mind thinks and sees things, and it's your perspective. And it's just a magical thing that like you can correct the mind from going from like a negative outlook to a positive outlook. But it takes intention and deliberate focus to do it.
Yeah.
So if you have goals and ambitions to have that and you don't feel like you're there, you realize that you're going to be committed to this process, but that creek's been going a long time.
Yeah.
So to be patient over time, you will correct those neurons, and the way that your thoughts flow will be positive, will see the good, will do all these things. And it's just an amazing thing.
Yeah.
I love
And
that.
I appreciate that. I'm gonna go off a little script here, but I
Yeah.
appreciate that because like I started later on in life really turning my life around, but it started up here, but it
Cool.
takes time, yet everything around us screams instant, instant everything.
Yeah.
And so it gets frustrating because it's like, wait, like my body's not changing like I've thought it was at this time. My mental, my thought process, all the above. So I like your vision and your message of like, hey, this journey takes a while to
Yeah.
correct. So just keep
Yeah.
going. It's not
Mhm.
endless. It will happen someday, but it's not going to be
Wow.
tomorrow. But just keep
Yeah.
going. So
And
appreciate that.
Yes.
I like that you added of like, you're gonna have a bad day. Not every day is gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
So like, don't hang on to that bad day. Just
Yeah.
do better the next day. We talk about that all the time of just like start bad and start small. Like
Yeah.
for people that are getting started, it's like
Yeah.
because we used to like, okay, I'm gonna make a drastic change. I'm gonna read 5 books every day. I'm gonna work out every single day, and it's just like you're setting yourself
Yeah.
up for failure. So it's like just start
Yeah.
small and start slow and
Yeah.
get
No,
going.
the excitement is there and you feel that progress and you're like, yes, I want to do
Yes.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we use exercise, or at least like society uses exercise to like, oh, start changing your mind, start getting healthy.
Mm.
If someone's injured or can't quite do exercise, how do you train your mind when you can't train your body?
Are you speaking from experience?
No. Yes.
Um, honestly, I would just find I I don't care if it's exercise. I don't care if it's a hobby. I don't care if it's some activity that you like to do, but I think you should never underestimate um, an interest you might have.
Mm,
If it's building something, if it's an art project, if it's it can be almost anything. If you have something that helps you believe more in yourself after you're done with it, I think it's great.
Mhm.
And that could be anything almost.
Sure.
find something that
And
excites you.
so yeah, find something you love. It could be model airplanes. It could be you know I don't know. It could be something that's so far from working out, which is okay. Um, the mental processes are the same for
Hmm.
everything. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just human.
Yeah.
Like I would just say like some of the biggest and most important components are staying motivated because if you don't stay motivated, are you going to do it the next day? Probably not,
Right.
right?
Right.
So the way you stay motivated is by self-reflection, looking in the tiny little details on where you progressed. If you can progress a little bit, just a little bit, and you get that dose, you get that hit of dopamine, like I hit a goal or I made progress, then you're going to feel that sense of accomplishment. And it doesn't matter if you won a gold medal at a competition or you reached a goal in your own little practice, in your own little world, in your backyard or in your shop.
Hmm.
The same dopamine hit happens. And if you can basically get addicted to reaching micro goals, that is going to take you so far in your process.
Mm,
But the problem is a lot of people just want that big hit when they reach that gold medal. And so
Right.
they'll sacrifice and self-destruct and try and get to that gold medal moment. And the thing that's crazy is if you talk to a lot of those gold medalists, they say, as soon as I reached the gold, I was like, this is it? Like,
Hmm. Yeah.
this is what it's like to win a gold medal? And it's like, no, it was actually all of the wins, all of the process getting there, that if you miss that, you're missing the essence. You're missing the most beautiful part of the process. So I think that that's huge. Never, ever underestimate reaching a tiny goal. You should celebrate a tiny goal, or you should celebrate something that you did or you got back and you tried again as though that's a win. And it's important that we all understand that. So it's like we're celebrating each other's little wins, because it is just easy in our society to be like, did you win or not? And it's like, no, but look what I did. I did
Right.
all these great things. So it's kind of a I think a message that we all kind of got to help each other stay true to.
Yeah. No,
No, that makes sense.
yeah, I love that. Like, I was just thinking about how, like, as I'm getting back into training, as I'm healing, like, there are moments to where I'm like, oh man, long day, kids, work. I don't want to go work out. But I just showed up to go work out and did something small, and that was so fulfilling, just doing the small thing and those little wins.
Yeah,
So it's like, okay, then the next day got easier. So
Yeah.
Totally.
So
That's huge. That's huge.
yeah. What's one phrase or mental cue from the Fearless Mind that you come back to on hard days?
I just think for me, it's just ever since I started the Fearless Mind stuff, just that personal quote of "I can do this" is huge.
yeah,
I've used "I can do this" for almost everything, and I still use it daily.
Nice.
it's that simple. Like, it's not like you have to do this crazy thing. It's just what you tell yourself, what you feed
It
yourself.
just gives me energy. It's just like, all right, I can do this. I can do it.
Yeah, and that's like, I don't know. That sounds like your mental routine and habit that you practice as a workout for your mind.
Totally. 100%. Yeah. And like I have my, let's see. Wait, is this? Can you hear me through this?
I can hear you through that.
What the heck? Oh, it's recording. I guess I won't touch that because my phone's. That's crazy.
That's interesting. All right.
What the heck?
Oh man.
Anyway, I was gonna show you my screensaver because it's like got my goals.
Oh, I
And
want to
like
see that.
I
okay,
break
though.
it down. So there's four pillars. The 4 pillars of intelligence is emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual. And those 4 pillars, if you take time developing each of those, you're basically creating the most sturdy, most competent being that you can be.
Mhm.
All of those pillars are so important, and spending time in each of those, spirituality, that's not religion, that's just your spirituality, and that's a component of life that's really important.
Yeah.
It's part of us. Same with emotional intelligence, like that's huge. Mental and physical. So it's like you see some people that are super physical, but they lack in like all the others. And it's like, okay,
Right.
well, something else goes wrong. Like, let's say you break yourself on your bike, right? Like if you're only focused on physical, that's gonna wreck you. Like
Yeah.
that's gonna completely wreck you. But if you have spiritual, emotional, and mental, then if that one pillar goes down for a little bit, you're gonna be able to manage. It's not gonna be as good because you love that physical pillar. But it's the same in all 4 of those. So building those up really help you just be like the most fundamentally sound human that you can be. So that's like stuff that I'm working on, is I'm just like trying to improve all those areas. I fall short in all of them. The one that I'm probably the best at is biking, and that's just something I've spent so many hours my entire life developing. But I'm actively trying to improve my emotional, my mental, and my spiritual, along with the physical. But the physical is probably my biggest pillar. So it's like, okay, I don't need to spend so much time there. I need to work on these other ones. So yeah, I have my
So,
goals on my phone that just remind me every day, okay, this is what I'm doing here, this is what I'm doing here, this is what I'm doing here.
so those four pillars, and also your can do, I can do this chant per se. I mean, if that's the way you want to call it, but this sounds like that's kind of your, whenever you are coming up across to something really gnarly that you're going to work on or do, that sounds like that's what you keep forefront to be
Yeah,
able to accomplish such things.
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
So failure, fear, and keeping going, focusing on setbacks and broken moments and mental recovery. Like, what was the last time you felt completely broken mentally or emotionally, and how did you keep moving?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there has to be a certain level of like your expectation, like you have to have your goal. And if your goal's not clear, you can just constantly feel like you're underperforming. Um,
Mm,
or if your goal's so big, or if your goal's too easy, you feel like you're just
bored.
cruising along and you're bored. Yeah. So I think for me, like taking the time to really feel out those goals or objectives that I have helped me a ton. Um, I'm I'm really super grateful for the skills I have with the mind stuff and the resources that I've had available to me. I haven't felt like completely broke. Um, probably since before I started learning the fearless mind. So that's like
Mhm.
Yeah, it's hard to relate to.
15, like 17 years ago, 16 years ago. So I will though say I've gone through some crap, some really hard things um since that.
Mm.
And um I just have to keep coming back to like readjusting my goals and expectations
Mm,
um so that that motivation stays high, that anxiety kind of stays at bay, cuz anxiety is not bad. But the moment it becomes so you become so anxious that you can't function, you can't
Mhm.
actually get up and move, that's where it's bad.
mhm,
But if your anxiety is kinda like, getting you off the couch to go move or to go work, that's using it, uh, in a good way. So keeping the anxiety in control and then, um, yeah, just continually resetting your objectives and your goals to stay motivated and see that progress. Like it was is today Wednesday? Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
It's been 7 weeks today that I fell about 16 feet to my side
Oh.
and broke a bunch of ribs. And I, had to give up what I wanted to do with my slalom racing. I was planning to do the US National Championships and then to do Crankworks.
Mm.
And, I was like, okay, well, that's not going to happen, but that's all right. I'm going to keep doing what I can do. I readjusted my expectations and my goals. And, my training went from riding really cool trails to just riding around my neighborhood, on the asphalt. And I was like, still, I would like be proud of myself for getting out there and
Yeah.
pedaling. It went from doing this scrub or this whip to like sleeping on both sides of my butt.
Right, exactly.
Getting
Well,
getting off the chair, you know?
yeah.
Can
Well,
I?
that's interesting you say that, because there's a question I had for you, was, as is there a failure or a fall that taught you more than any win? And it
Oh, yeah,
sounds like you had that fall, but
for
like
sure.
I'm curious, like was there any time in the healing process where you're just like, wow, here's a win from that, or and beyond positivity or whatnot, but
Yeah. Um, yeah, I guess I haven't really thought of this one like that was bigger than winning or doing good. Like, it's kinda
Yeah.
just been it was such a brutal crash. It did make me realize just how quickly things can change because it was
Mhm.
such a freak crash, and I've never hit the ground that hard, and it was like it could have easily been spine or head or punctured my lungs or something. Like, it
Right.
was a violent slam.
Mm.
Um, but I think I'm just kinda still in the thick of it. I don't think I can still look back yet with like, "Oh, that was good for me."
Yeah, sure,
You're in
sure.
the thick of it
It's
still.
I'm
Um,
still in like, I'm still working through it, but, I find myself still motivated, still grateful, still working hard, still doing what I can control,
Mhm.
and I feel like I'm in a good mind space. I'm just like, "Alright, well, that sucked."
Right.
yeah.
But that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
I wanna go back real quick because you said something that resonated with me. Uh, that you were like, I can't think of something that broke you and you pushed through it, but you still went through really hard stuff. And by
Mhm.
building the habits on telling yourself you could do it, you can keep going, you can keep going, doing that every day for a long period of time, you just start believing it and you start doing it. Like it's not like everything that hits you in life has to feel like a brand new difficult challenge to overcome. You just do it because you've trained yourself to do it.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to like point that out that like that's
Highlight.
encouraging. It's like to us beginners, newbies, it's like I've the beginning stage of getting your life together is super hard because you're building new habits. But after
Yeah.
that, just it's and then you think I have to do this hard stuff every single day from now on, and it's like no, it gets easier and then you level up and it
Totally
gets
does.
easier.
It's just like muscle, man. It's just like doing that weight or doing that ride that first time is like, "Wow, that was hard."
Yeah.
But the next
Mhm.
time around, you're like, "Oh, that was, like, way less energy." It's the exact same thing, for sure, and then it transfers to all different aspects of life, and yeah, it's just like it's so worth putting the energy and time into because, yeah, it's good for you personally, and you'll continually be working on it, and I'm continually working on it. I'm continually failing just like I failed 7 or 800 times at the snatch, but, like, it's just, like, just committing to it, the fact that you're like, "Okay, I'm committing to this, like, I'm gonna keep doing my best, and if I fail, I'm gonna get back up and keep doing it." And then surrounding yourself with other people committed to, continue trying to be their best. You really just kind of realize, like, man, we are all just human, and
Hmm.
we're all gonna keep making mistakes, but the biggest thing is just continually trying and then using what you've learned to help somebody else.
Mhm.
And then, you know, one day that person that you helped will be there to help you when you're down and out again. It's like, I don't know. I just have this kind of holistic approach to it that, like, um, what goes around comes around. We're all human. We all have, times where we're doing great and we all have times where we're doing real crappy. And hopefully we can just all be there for each other in those times. That's just kind of my outlook on it.
Yeah, no, that's great, and I want to give you kudos for broken ribs because in my accident,
Uh,
I bruised ribs back
oh,
here and sleeping. That
uh,
was that was like the worst part than this. So like,
oh,
I commend you on that, and
dang.
as you're going through, you had a big riding change of plans with your crash.
Yeah.
I did too
Mhm.
because like my partner, she started mountain biking last year, and I was like, dude, I
Oh,
can all
cool.
summer we're gonna because we live a couple hours from North Star in Tahoe, so we're gonna go to North
Wow.
Star like all year because we were trying to make it up to Crankworks, couldn't make it work, and then
Right,
and then
right.
I crashed right at the beginning of summer, and it was like, crap, our summer plans are gone, and I got so
Oh,
upset that pillar was gone, and then but like we took a step back and like we just bought a house like a month ago, and like
Wow.
that wasn't going to be able to happen if we were spending hundreds of dollars on lift tickets all summer long. So
That's awesome.
so I always try to encourage people to find why this happened and the good thing, and I encourage that for you, man, in what you're
I
going
love
through.
it.
So
Thank you.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Drew.
So yeah, moving on to fatherhood and legacy, and why we put this piece in here is because our listeners, ourselves, we have jobs, we have careers, kids, wives, significant others, whatever the case may be, and there are a lot of people that talk about getting in shape mentally, physically, spiritually, all the above, and that's their job, right? And not that they don't go through hard times or have distractions, but it's different. If I feel it's different when you're juggling all these things. And so, how has being a husband changed since you rewired your mental game is something always on our mind because, as we get older and we're in relationships longer, it's I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Well, yeah, as we were saying, you start losing kind of connectivity and stuff, and so changing your mental, your mindset and your game, stuff like that. How has that changed your marriage? Or maybe we should ask your wife. But yeah, just curious your thoughts on that.
So are you basically just asking, like the things you learned mentally as you're younger, as you age, how it kind of
No, it's more in the sense with the Fearless Mind book. Your I can do this attitude. Obviously, you've mentioned this already. It just it doesn't stay in the mountain bike world or the physical world. You apply it in all aspects of your life, and obviously having families, it's gonna creep over in there in a positive way. So I was just curious if there was any relational pieces, whether it's better time with your daughters, which you already spoke about, but also with your wife as well.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's real easy to like, for me, it's really easy to just be so focused on what I'm doing and what I have going, and I feel like with my wife, it's like, man, we are we're a pair, and we're working together to raise these kids, to live this life together, to do all these things. And it just totally helps me with the framework of like, all right, if I need to be the best version of myself, spending this energy on me, developing, being the best I can be is going to only help my side of the equation in the partnership, So it's
Yeah.
like, if one day it's just like I'm just like I just got to go ride, like I just need to go spend time just like getting my mind right and being like the best version of myself, then that's just what I got to do, because man, it's hard. Like it's really hard to be a good spouse, to be a good
hmm
parent, to
Yeah.
be a good worker, like employee, contributor to society, whatever. It's like it's all hard.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, if I'm the best version of myself, that's the only way that I'm going to be the best member of my family, my marriage, whatever. So
Yeah.
I think it has really affected me in just that component of it. That it's like, yeah, all of these like sometimes I'm just like, my kids, you're bugging me, clean your room, do this.
Yeah.
Like, but then I'm like, it's really just me. Like I need to get my act together and, parent differently or motivate differently. Cause, yeah, it's just always so easy to point fingers when it's like, it's really probably just me.
Yeah.
So
Right.
We're the adults in the equation. We can make adjustments. They don't know how to
yeah,
do that quite yet.
yeah,
Well, and
exactly.
need it modeled, right?
Yeah.
and they need them up.
And
All that.
I feel like all of us are partners. What, Drew?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I feel
All
like
of us are what?
all of us are partners at some point. I've been like, go ride. It's been a little minute. Go out and ride your bike.
I've had my wife say that.
Yeah.
Get out of the house.
Yeah, and then my partner's like, take me with you though. Let's go ride. But so as what, Drew?
Well, I was going to say, we talked about family and kids and stuff like that. Should we move on to the next mountain?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So anyway, Braydon, what climb are you working on right now, like mentally, physically, or spiritually? Something you have coming up that you're facing?
Probably the next big project that I'm involved in is the league,
The hard league.
the Hard Mountain Bike League. That's a really big effort. The person that is really igniting it right now, his name's Adam Pischel, and he is the president of a renewable energy company that he co-founded and is the president of. And he asked me to come do a keynote speaking event. And then he asked me to do some mental performance coaching for his employees.
Hmm.
And we just connected, like, because we were just driven to help people at the end of the day. And so he's actually, he's the anchor investor for the league now.
Oh, that's cool.
And he is part of the executive team, and he is bringing all of his skills and ability to the league and really trying to help us bring this vision to life so that we can have like a real positive impact. But it's definitely a ton of work.
Right.
Yeah.
A massive joint effort where like the whole Enchilada climb was like me and my tight crew doing it. This is like a whole crew, and then all the riders, and then all the industry and all the fans, and everybody is like, so it feels pretty massive, but it feels doable with like the skills and the resources that we have. But it's definitely the next big climb for me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So with that is applying with the fearless mind, is applying this towards fear still a factor? I mean, is that the fear of this new challenge, so to speak?
Yeah. I mean, if I think too far out, I get really fearful.
Yeah,
like this is
sure.
And so it just comes back to like, all right, what are we doing today to reach our goals for this fall event that we have coming up? And how are we going to make this fall event as good as possible so we can build for next year's spring event and the development camps, and just like really breaking it down into like manageable, motivating like benchmarks, because it feels massive. Feels like a massive project, but
yeah, man. Well, hey, if there's anyone that can handle it, it's you. So proud of you. And is there any message you'd give to someone listening who is just getting started or feels stuck right now?
Sure. I think I mentioned it earlier, is just never underestimate reaching a tiny dose of progress.
Yeah.
Even if that progress is just consistency in your effort. You might actually have, like you said, sometimes you get ready to go to the gym, but you don't do your full workout. You just do a little bit. The fact you went to the gym is a win, and just like celebrating, looking for any bit of something to celebrate is massive, and really internally digesting that as a win and being proud of yourself, because it's just so easy to get into just negative influence, and it's really it's really hard to get out of, and I am aware of that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, well, I mean, yeah, this has been incredible. We've been trying, this isn't a mountain biking podcast. We just mountain bike. These are just practices that Drew and I have learned, and we've learned from you and Dr. Craig Manning, to like where we can, face anything. We have hunters as our listeners, and like all these different types of demographics. And it's just about how to make life happen. It doesn't matter your discipline, what excites you with bikes or hunting or whatever.
It's all applicable.
It's all applicable, and this is what we've been. You've been living what we've been preaching and learning.
I'm trying.
Yeah, dude, you're doing great, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
thank you. Like,
So,
sorry, Drew, real quick.
Yes.
Braydon, want to give you just a huge thank you in the battle you put in making this film, because like it literally was just the catalyst that was just like, dude, I need to make a change so I can start living, because I fought. Most of my 20s, I fought depression, I fought anxiety. I just was almost lost my life a couple times. My brother introduced me into mountain biking, and we were talking about earlier, like just focusing on your line. Focusing 25 feet in front of me was the only thing that stopped the crazy in my head, just the bad voices, the negativity. And then now we're let's fast forward 10 years, and the last couple of years was really digging in and where we're at. And so thank you. Like, I can't thank you for all the hard work you put in, man.
Thank you for saying that, man. I'm super stoked to hear your journey, because I feel like there's so many other people in that same exact situation. And the influence that you're going to have because of what you've gone through is priceless.
Yeah. Thank you.
The realness that you can bring is absolutely priceless. And, it is, just greatly appreciated that you share that stuff with me, because I can't believe that something that I did maybe helped influence some way you to be better. And I'm just like, wow, that's really special. So thanks for saying
yeah, go ahead, Drew.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, sometimes we'll get little like, hey, thanks guys for this, and it's like, oh, cool, like, so I get it. It's like, wow, all right, I put something good in the world and not bad, like everyone else.
Yes.
And I was gonna say, Leighton still has yet to complete the whole enchilada. So we're going to go back there this May, or next May, I should say. We'd love to have you on if you're around.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, let's keep in touch. Let me know when you guys go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to go down it. We're not going up it. We're going down it. So, hey, one thing we like to do with our guests is every time ask them, like, hey, do you have a challenge for us? And it could be physically, it could be mentally, it could be emotionally, emotionally. I don't know about emotional, but for example, our first guest, who's a Mountain Ops ambassador, challenge us every day for do 25 burpees and tell your household you love them. Our second guest was Zwift Insider CEO, and he's like, cycle 100 miles on Zwift in the week. Our third one was is our sponsor of Pendulum Threads, and he's like, read Einstein's law of relativity, kind of thing. And so we wanted to offer or ask of you what mental or physical, whatever the case may be, would you challenge us with this week?
Yeah, I totally will. And you guys can reach back out when you've done it, because I'd love to hear from you.
But no, we're not doing the whole enchilada backwards. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. So the really, it's pick one of the hobbies or one of the things that you love doing, and really commit to doing like 2 weeks of journaling for it. So like how the journal looks is you have your objective, which is what you're trying to accomplish that day or that session. And then you have your 3 actionable cues. What are 3 things that you're going to do during that session to reach that goal or that objective. Goal, objective, same thing. And then after your session, you're going to have a recap and you're going to list out 3 things that you did well. So you're going to say, I did this well, I did this well, and I did this well. And then just one thing that you could improve in that session. It's really easy to list off 10 things to improve, but you've got to stop at 1.
Okay.
So you got to keep the ratio 3 to 1. 3 positive to every 1 negative or 1 thing you need to improve. Because it takes 3 positives just to counter 1 negative thought, just for that insight. And you'll notice if you commit to that, and you can keep your net positive up and you can see progress in you reaching your objective, that your decision making will be sharper, your motivation will stay higher, your anxiety will be controlled. All of these really cool benefits. So I would just say commit to doing it for 2 weeks, and then let me know how it goes or what questions you have, because it's a super powerful framework to go off of whenever you're doing anything, whether it's your podcasting or your bike riding or whatever.
Yeah,
Man, awesome.
I appreciate that.
Love it, dude. Well, it's been an honor talking to you. Thank you for teaching all these things. Guys, go check.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, go check out. You're a busy guy,
Sorry,
so I
I was
appreciate
so late.
it. But everyone, go check out the film 8,600 Feet. Again, it's not just about mountain biking. It's about just the mental toughness of getting through, and it's crazy inspiring. Go check out the Hard MTB League for Braydon. Go read The Fearless Mind by Dr. Craig Manning. That'll change your life. And it's like this big, but it's very impactful. And go follow us, YouTube, the Countdown 2 podcast, Instagram, Facebook, all the things. And yeah, let's just keep trying to inspire people. So
Amazing.
Awesome, Braydon. Thank
Cheers,
you.
guys. Have a wonderful day.
yeah, you too, man. Get
You
some
too.
rest.
Yeah, thank
Before
you.
Italy.
Take care.
All right.
Yeah,
you too, man.
thank you. See you guys. Bye.
Appreciate you. Bye.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.